and smash that like button with this dope content for today. Don't do me like that. Hit that like button. Let's get right into it.
All right, y'all. What is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for us to listen? I'm like sick to my stomach, okay? I've heard the rumors and I'm guilty of it, taking my kids to go eat at McDonald's, but today took my girls to go get their normal Happy Meals and got a 10-piece for my 6-year-old, and she bit down into one of her chicken nuggets and she says that, she hurt her teeth. And so I'm looking at it and I pull this out. She pulls this out. She hands it to me, okay? And I'm freaking out. Baby, where's your tooth? What happened? How'd you lose a tooth? How did you lose a tooth in your chicken nuggets? It's not her tooth, y'all. This is not my baby's tooth. But this is a baby's tooth. This was someone's baby's tooth. This is disgusting, and this is what we're eating. This is what we're feeding our kids. This is a human tooth. This is a baby tooth, and I say baby no more than 6 years old. This is a tooth. Y'all, this is a baby tooth, and we're eating this. And you guys are still gonna go continue to eat from there.
You're not lying. People are still gonna go eat McDonald's, man. This is crazy, man. I don't know if this is real, but the way she's acting, man, this definitely like this is real, man. I wouldn't knock it, man. Do you already see they already got like the fake meat, the printed meat they had already, so I wouldn't knock it. That's creepy, man. That's wild. The truth about solar panels, are they safe?
Solar panels, are they safe? While solar panels are touted for their environmental benefits, they can actually introduce serious health risks, and this is due to the inherent clash between electricity from solar panels, which is direct current or DC current, that gets converted into the type of electricity that's used in your home, and this is an AC current or alternating current, and this is done by an inverter. This creates unwanted electrical interference called dirty electricity, and this interference spreads throughout the wiring in your home and can cause serious health issues. This interference has been directly linked to many symptoms like nausea, headaches, fatigue, and even chronic neurological problems. Solar panels can induce high magnetic fields, and this is due to unwanted current flow on house grounding systems, and this magnifies exposure to harmful pulses that are generated by the inverters. Radio frequency radiation from wireless monitoring systems further compounds the issue, and this floods your living space with EMR in the microwave range. Introducing AC into a DC system destabilizes the entire electromagnetic environment, and this creates a hazardous mix of dirty electricity, microwave radiation, and magnetic fields that can profoundly impact your health. Please make sure that you hire a building biologist before considering solar panels on your home.
It's like you just find out more and more stuff that's not good for your health, right? It's crazy. You would think solar panels would be okay. It's only using the sun energy, right? I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? So there was an earthquake in where? Thailand. This was an earthquake in Thailand. Like something from 9/11. This is crazy. Hey, did y'all know this about honey? Check this out.
Take the test. In the biggest case of food fraud in U.S. history, The Justice Department found that massive amounts of honey in the American supermarkets contain high fructose corn syrup, a disaster for your health. Here are 3 ways to test if your honey is real. First up, the water test. Pour a tablespoon of honey into a cup of water. If it sinks to the bottom, it's real honey. If it starts to dissolve, then it's likely fake. Next, the flame test. Bundle up a paper towel and dip it into the honey. If it starts to bubble and maybe even catch a flame, then it's real. And if not, just throw it out already. The blot test. Put a tablespoon of honey on a paper towel and fold it over. When you unfold it, take a look. Did it leave wet marks? If not, then you got real honey.
So I know you guys know about the Tesla's cars blowing up. Y'all seen that before. It's just like they're not, they're not good for the body, I heard. So let's look at this one.
Another Tesla, and you can clearly see this is off the chart where Julie's sitting, and right where she's putting her feet, it's almost off the chart as well. All around the vehicle where Julie's sitting is the same thing. It's right in front of her eyes. There you go, right there. Look at that. That's right where her head is. So she's basically sitting in a mobile phone. She's basically sitting in a mobile phone, and this is terrible because nobody talks about this when they're buying it. All around, it drops down to 4, but right where the person's sitting, it's the worst. The passenger side's not too bad. It hits it really high up here, right where your head is. It goes quite high, right where the head is of the person in the passenger vehicle. But the worst is the driver. The driver's in there. Imagine if you've got a chauffeur company and you're in it all day. All day you're in this. Look at it, just screaming where her feet are.
A lot of radiation.
And here, gone. This is where she's sitting. Now nobody's talking about this, and I can't understand why. We're going all on about the towers and all this stuff about this, and we're not talking about the cars. Look, it's gone. It's off the chart. She's not got any reading left. It's so high, it's off the chart. Anyway, we've got to start thinking seriously about boycotting these vehicles and having safety EMF testing on them. And children, how much they can be exposed to EMF to, and long-term EMF damage. Because if Julie's sitting this 2 hours, what's going to happen? I can't read this. The meter's not reading it. It's off the chart. How do we know what Julie's getting exposed to? How? How do we know? We don't know because it's off the chart of the meter. This is terrible. That is not that's an appalling safety standard because it's not a measurable read. I can't read what Julie's been exposed to. So we've got to develop another meter for these so-called environmentally friendly cars that are toxic to drive in. Anyway, thanks, Julie. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Julie?
Not impressed.
Not impressed. So what do you think?
I'm just Googling it now to reading it to see what it's saying. Not happy.
Not happy, and that's terrible because you didn't know this and they didn't supply you with a meter.
Well, I knew when you asked my daughter that there was maybe some concern.
Yeah,
I didn't go down.
maybe, but did they tell you that it's off the charts where you're sitting?
No.
Would you have bought it if they told you when you jump in there the EMF reading is going to be off the charts?
No, I wouldn't have thought
You wouldn't have bought
about
it.
No.
You wouldn't have bought it.
No.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a dishonest sale.
Well,
Because they should be going straight up to you and say, "Hey, Julie, before you buy the car, I'm a Tesla salesperson, and before you buy the car, this is what you're going to be sitting on. Out of control EMF reading. Would you have bought the car?"
probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's just like saying, "Hey, I'm going to sell you something that's toxic, and it's going to be $60,000, and you've got a $3,000 refund." So it's up to you what you want to do, but I know what I'd be doing.
Yeah,
I'd be
I know.
selling this quick smart.
Thanks,
Thanks, Julie. See ya. There you go. It's amazing. What we've been told, what's happening to these cars, and look, when I go outside and I walk into my shop, what happens? It goes down to 2. From off the chart with the Tesla to inside my shop, which is supposed to be a danger zone, to 2. There you go. Another one. That's 2 in 2 days.
Yo, I guess them Teslas ain't really That really ain't no joke, huh? That's crazy. He said he couldn't even read it. He couldn't even read it. If you can't even read it, you know you shouldn't be getting in that. It's just crazy how technology is. It's just not for the people. You know, like what is this? Like, it's cool though. It's cool. That's crazy though. How you just did that. Check this out. That's crazy. Wow.
ช้าๆวนช้าๆช้า ไปสิหนีก่อน
They got a pool on top of the building too. That's crazy. Justin Bieber latest post on Instagram. What did he post? Oh. Okay. That's interesting.
Toss them overboard, then kill the navigator.
What's the password?
I see dead people.
Diddy Allen. He knows some stuff. Justin Bieber knows some stuff. Sick. Yeah, Justin Bieber definitely know, man. I mean, obviously, you know what's going on. It's crazy though, man. They saying Diddy live right next to these containers. Well, not these containers, but to some containers. That's wild.
We're the only planet that I'm aware of that uses currency. Okay. In fact, I had an experience where Mornay and Visayas had asked me to try to explain to them why we used money, or what they refer to as paper with pictures on it. So I spent a great deal of time in between contacts putting something together for them. And I had a contact. I was living in Malibu at the time, up on Decker Canyon, and I had this opportunity to present this information to them. So as I'm presenting it, I'm going through it. I had a paper with me that I was reading it off and had little charts that I'd carried in my backpack. And when it was all over, and of course they already knew this information because they've been watching our history, Visayas said thank you very much. Mornay said thank you very much. I enjoyed it. But Visayas just looked at me and he just had a very straight face. And he just said, I don't understand. And I said, well, what do you not understand? Now, Visayas was always telepathic. He never learned to use his vocal cords. He said, I don't understand why you have to live, why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. Why do you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on? That haunted me for many years, that statement. Because, how do we unravel that? What do we create in order to drop that paradigm? And how do we create it? You know, who's going to step up and say, you know what? We have fought wars over money, we have fought wars over gold, we have fought wars over this and fought wars over that. We have nearly destroyed the planet. We have destroyed species.
If you take real human teeth and submerge them in pure Coca-Cola, is it really true that the teeth will be dissolved to nothing? This is one of those things that my mom always used to say would happen if I drank too much soda, but let's find out if it's true. And since we've got lots of teeth, let's try some fruit juice as well. After all, this is meant to be the healthy option, right? So, what I'm gonna do is submerge both of the teeth in their respective drinks, leave each tooth for 48 hours to soak, and then check back in on them to see what we're left over with. Now remember, according to the parents, the tooth in the juice should be decaying a bit from the sugars, but the Coca-Cola tooth should have completely disappeared. Let's fast forward 48 hours and find out. Okay, immediately I can see mold on both of the liquid surfaces. I never thought I'd see a moldy Coke. Let's fish the juice one out first. Well, that tooth is definitely feeling softer than when it went in. We've got this purple staining around the edges, and the bottom looks like it's rotting out. But it's not actually too bad. However, I cannot say the same for the cola tooth. The bottom half of the tooth has been badly eaten away. And what in the world is that coming out of it? That's so gross.
So you know we don't supposed to be drinking none of that. Just drink some water. Eat fruit.
Plants can actually interact with our thoughts. In 1966, a man named Cleve Baxter decided to connect his plants to a lie detector test. This would basically record its electrical signals and detect any sensory information. When he did, he realized the signals were very much alive and fluctuating, just like when he tested it on humans. During his experiments, he also realized that his thoughts actually had an effect on the plant's electrical activity, and that even by thinking of harming the plant, you cause its signal to immediately spike, as if it somehow could detect your thoughts and experience fear. But perhaps the weirdest was that when he was eating his lunch, he noticed the plants were having a strange stress response, as if they somehow knew that their plant friend was being eaten. He then realized that if you simply think and feel an immense sense of gratitude for the food you're eating, it significantly reduces the stress signals both in the food itself and in the plants around it. Now all this may sound crazy until you realize how highly conscious plants actually are. They literally emit a high-pitched scream we can't hear when you cut their leaves or when they're not. Did you know plants can actually interact with our thoughts?
It's interesting.
Are you ready for blue beam technology? Well, it's out there. And you might think that they're going to be faking an alien invasion, but they're going to be doing so much more than that. And it's not only going to look real, it's going to feel real thanks to all of these directed energy weapons, thanks to all of these cell towers and the 5G. That's what they're there for, to target people and to make the blue beam feel real. And right now, they're basically practicing on conservatives, Christians, and purebloods. The purge is on. They're not just silencing and censoring people online. They're taking people out while they sleep at home. They're making it look like climate change or something else. But if you've been experiencing pain not associated with an injury, recurring back problems, recurring headaches, heart palpitations, chronic fatigue, they're coming after you. The only way to make it stop is with military-grade EMF shielding. But the problem is that you can't buy that anywhere online. You have to make it yourself. And so our recommendation to everybody out there is to start preparing for next generation warfare, because that asymmetric war has already begun, and they've become rather efficient at killing people using this technology. This is why we've written the guide, the book on how to survive Skynet-driven energy weapons. It's called Transhuman Genocide, the ultimate guide to directed energy weapons, EMF shielding, and artificial intelligence. You can find it on Amazon or on Patreon, but you need to get a copy, and you need to make shielding if you're going to survive.
April is really the start of the new year.
Oh.
And I tried to tell you that, and you didn't believe me. But when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. So, there's actually 13 months with 28 days each. 13 times 28 is 364. With the one neutral day, it's 365 days a year. April being the first, May, June, Soul is the month that's missing. July, August, September, which is 7 in Latin, October, which is 8, November, which is 9, and December, which is 10. January, February, March being the 13th, with the one neutral day, brings us back round to April, being the start of the new year. And if you take a look at nature, you can tell it's the start of the new year, spring, when all the flowers start to blossom again. Come on, brother, and remember, April is the start of the new tax year. And if you ever wondered why, it's because that is the start of the new year. They are literally rubbing it in our faces. The truth is hidden in plain sight. That's why they call it April Fool's Day, because January is not the start of the new year. It's really April. So yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
It's true though. I just always question, like, where did these days and months even come from? You know, you think we have days and months, man? It was just energy. It was just energy days. That's how I look at it. I don't know, man. That's just my perspective. That's my opinion.
Look at this guy, he has crazy place. Crazy place.
The towers sit on top of giant tanks of viscous liquid.
That is water and cooling oil. Wires are running over into this control building.
If this is a military facility, it's one with a highly unusual purpose.
If you get a good look at these towers, they appear to be like weird high voltage equipment.
These installations have a very eerie similarity to Tesla coils, but why would they be built out in the middle of nowhere in Russia?
You ever ask yourself, why do we see the same patterns repeated everywhere in the universe?
Because we the universe.
From something as small as your brain cells to the universal cosmic web where each one of these dots is a galaxy. From your eyes to nebulas in space. From your DNA to other nebulas in space, to the branching of nearly every single pattern of nature. Now all of this occurs because the universe is fractal. A fractal is a geometric pattern which repeats again and again at different scales and sizes. Now what this means is that the universe is self-similar across all scales, from the macro to the micro level. No matter the size, no matter the object, you will always see the same repeating patterns exhibited everywhere in the universe. These patterns show the efficiency of energy flow exhibited all throughout nature. And of course, when nature finds an efficient way to do something, it repeats that process everywhere. In ancient times, this came to be known as the law of correspondence. This law states that that which is above is a mirror image of that which is below, or the microcosm is a reflection of the macrocosm. In this way, you can understand the universe by understanding the human body, and you can understand an atom by understanding the universe. This is why you have things like astrology, where the placement of the stars tells us things about ourselves and the world. The universe's smaller processes are mirror images of the larger ones, and vice versa. For example, the electromagnetic field of your heart is the same as the one for Earth and the same as the one for galaxies. It can go from something as small as a magnet to something as large as a supercluster of 200,000 galaxies. Now, one of my favorite examples is the process that humans and trees use to breathe. Now, this upside down looking tree is actually your lungs. The way that humans use them is by taking in oxygen and exhaling CO2. And the way that trees do this is the opposite. They exhale oxygen and breathe in CO2. Now there's so many more examples to this, so I can't mention them all in this video. But the important thing is that you realize these patterns give meaning, unity, and harmony to what we otherwise label a random universe, and that you are connected to it all.
Yep. There's no separation. Never was. But they did create it. You know, they wanted to create separation. They want everybody divided. Everything is already you. You know what I'm saying? Everything you want, you already got it. You know, they just saying you can't have it. But you can. That's why we able to manipulate everything, you know. That's why we able to even speak and see outside of this illusion. That is why you don't want to get up and go to work, you know, because you know you don't supposed to be doing that. You connected to the earth, like what is we doing? You know, what is we really doing? Come on, huh?
What about uranium glass? It's called Vaseline glass or Vaseline. See how names are changed around so that you would never look up something like that. If you look up Vaseline, you find petroleum. But if you look up Vaseline glass, you find uranium dioxide glass. And this is an interesting one because uranium dioxide glass glows under a fluorescent bulb. It's a very special type of glass, and you can look up all of this and find it. But it's interesting because you start to think, there's certain things we're supposed to stay away from, and I wonder why that is. And the Vaseline glass has an X amount of uranium inside of it. Now, I'm just going to say, this is just my opinion, look into Vaseline glass and all the old glass pieces. Because when you start to look at glass, you start to see how they used to use alchemy in glass. They used to mix together different compositions and put them into the glass. So then you start to think, so somebody took uranium and put it into the glass. Now, we know about uranium and energy and that whole spiel. So then you start to sit there and think, does that glass create energy? Is there a resonance or frequency that comes off of the uranium glass that we have not been taught about? Similar to radium and the fireplaces, the radium fireplaces of the old world. They would create energy using the fireplace and radium.
What?
Yeah, man. It's AI, but it look like this is something it would look like, you know? It's great.
They've disconnected you from the heavens. The whole world used to speak one language. This language was called telepathy. We could speak by transferring thoughts through the energetic grid that surrounds us all. Tower of Babel represents this connection to the astral and mental plane. The Bible mentions this tower being cut down, symbolizes losing our connection to the higher realms. Once the tower was cut down, the whole world spoke a different language. Tower of Babel is a symbolic story representing losing the ability to telepathically communicate. Have you ever thought about someone and they magically appear on your phone? This is because we're all connected on the mental plane. Language is a spell. It molds our mind, limits our imagination, confines our thoughts to structures. Imagine thinking without your mind using a language. To gain telepathic powers, meditate for long periods of time on one intent. Focus the mind's energy and attention on one thing for long periods of time. They've disconnected you from the heavens. The whole world.
This is awesome. Oh, goodness.
Old world
I heard this is
technologies.
in LA. Is this in LA? Where is this at? Where is this located at? Somebody know?
This is a really cool rock called ulexite. It's also known as the TV rock. It's a borate mineral with a unique optical property. It allows it to kind of act like a natural fiber optic to display images that are placed beneath it. It's found in evaporite deposits primarily in the American Southwest and has lots of industrial applications. This is a really cool rock called ulexite.
Yo, that's interesting. Dang. Gotta look that up. I guess this is a real rock.
In the world are we looking at here? Kim Kardashian laying down in a bed with a Tesla robot. Now you may think this is just some ordinary picture, but this might go way deeper than you think. Okay, take a look at this article. Now look at the picture. It kind of looks like they're trying to recreate this. Now look at the date of this article from 2016. This article is saying that Dr. Pearson is predicting by 2025 women are going to start going to robots for their intimate needs. Now this isn't the first time Kim Kardashian has done this. She has multiple videos and pictures of her and this robot, holding hands, her sitting on its lap, the robot taking pictures and videos of her and them doing all kinds of activities together. Now, I don't know if she's getting paid to do this by Tesla or something, or if she's just trying to push an overall narrative. Let's be real, she's one of the biggest influencers in the world, if not the biggest. So I feel like if she's posting this, it's got to be for a reason, and it's hard to believe that this is just for fun. AI and robots are becoming more and more part of our lives, and these companies obviously want human and robot interactions to be normalized, and whether they know it or not, Kim Kardashian is definitely a big factor in this becoming normalized. All right,
y'all. That's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next upload. Peace.
Damn, goddamn, I might lean, I might fall, I might save, I might spend, I might ball. Shit, I might call, I might not, I might ghost till tomorrow. First to admit, I feel good, but I'm flawed. Work on yourself, keep your family involved. Check on your health, never stress about the loss. If you move with respect, you'll attract what you want, that's a fact.
Alright guys, this is a affiliate link to this item. It is a rechargeable portable brick. It has 2 USB ports on it. Also, it comes with a flashlight. This is also an affiliate link, like I said before, and it will support me if you make a purchase on this item. So if you do call yourself a supporter of my channel, please be sure to do that. Buy this item. It's pretty cheap. I think runs from $20 to $30. Yeah, it runs for like $30. It's worth it. Okay, so if you support me, go ahead and buy this item. This is a affiliate link from Amazon. The link will be in the description. Thank you if you did buy this item.